I just want to start by saying Jurassic Park is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this movie because, well, dinosaurs. But whilst it is a fucking radical movie, there are so many scientific inaccuracies in the design of these gargantuan reptiles. One of the main protagonists, or antagonists, depending on your viewpoint and if you like humans, is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. This bad boy is depicted in so many different movies. It made me curious about their actual life. So, after a bit of research, I think I've cooked up a semi-realistic day in the life of a T-Rex. 66 million years ago, in the late Cretaceous period, the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex ruled what we now know as Western North America. With teeth the size of bananas and a tank-like build, this beauty was a real killing machine. Morning. The sun rises, the air is crisp, and the king of the dinosaurs stretches its massive legs and immediately gets a whiff of something dead. Contrary to what some people think, the T-Rex wasn't just a prehistoric vulture sniffing out carcasses all day. Sure, it would scavenge if the opportunity arose. Who wouldn't take free food? But make no mistake, this thing was a hunter. And with one of the best noses in the Cretaceous, it could smell lunch before it even knew it was hungry. Like today's apex predators, it starts the day by sniffing out breakfast, hoping for either a rotting corpse or something still moving. Either works, meat is meat. The sun's climbing, the shadows are shrinking, and the T-Rex is on the move. Slowly, methodically, like that guy in horror movies who somehow catches you even though he's just walking. Now, there's a myth that the T-Rex was a slow, lumbering idiot. But no, biomechanics say otherwise. It wasn't winning any marathons or anything, but it could still run up to 10 to 25 miles per hour. Fast enough to definitely ruin your day. With forward-facing eyes, it had binocular vision, meaning it could judge distances like a pro. So when it locked onto a target, well, that's when things got interesting. For the prey at least. So, if you do ever come across a T-Rex, don't listen to the doctors in Jurassic Park. Don't just stand still.
Nobody move a muscle.
Because you will die. Boom. A deafening crunch echoes through the valley. If you thought a lion's bite was strong, the T-Rex would like to politely remind you it could crush bones. Its bite force? 12,800 pounds. That's like getting hit by the bin man. If his lorry had serrated steak knives for teeth. Opportunistic? Absolutely. If it had to fight for food? It would. If it had to steal a kill? Definitely. But if it got the chance to bring something down itself, that was a front row seat to the bloodiest dinner party in the Mesozoic. With a stomach full of regret, mostly its prey but also some of its own, the T-Rex does what all terrifying predators do post-meal. Either nap or go for a nice stroll. This is also the perfect time to address those adorable little arms. Sure, they look ridiculous, but they weren't useless. They had the strength to hold down struggling prey, while the jaws did the real damage. And as for territory, it wasn't sharing. Like today's big cats, a T-Rex wouldn't take kindly to trespassers, unless of course they looked freaking delicious. As the sun sets, the T-Rex prepares to do what all large predators do at dusk, be loud and dramatic. Now let's clear up another myth. The infamous cinematic T-Rex roar? Yeah, it's not actually real. It likely sounded more like a crocodile mixed with an earthquake. Deep, guttural rumbles that you felt in your chest before your brain even registered danger. It didn't need to scream. It was big enough that a well-placed boom was all it took to make its presence known. And maybe, just maybe, it wasn't as antisocial as we thought. There's evidence that the T-Rex could have lived in small groups. Whether that meant family bonding or Game of Thrones level backstabbing is up for debate. Oh, and about its looks, another myth. The T-Rex wasn't just a giant scaly lizard. Fossil evidence suggests that it had some feathers, especially when younger. Not enough to make it look like a gigantic chicken or anything, but enough to ruin every Jurassic Park fan's mental image. It was more of a terrifying hybrid, a scaly, muscular beast with some patchy feathering, like a prehistoric horror bird. Finally, night falls, and while most respectable creatures settle in, the T-Rex, it isn't done. See, another misconception, that the T-Rex only hunted during the day. Definitely not. This thing had the perfect senses for nighttime horrors. Think of it like a crocodile, waiting in the dark, sensing movement, listening for the faintest of sounds of something delicious. And if nothing presented itself, well, that's when scavenging became a solid backup plan. Find a corpse, get a free meal, sleep, repeat tomorrow. So, let's summarise what we learned. The T-Rex wasn't just a scavenger, it was a bone-crushing nightmare machine. It wasn't slow, it was strategically terrifying. Its arms weren't useless, they were small but strong. You know, like a gym bro who only does curls. It's raw, less Jurassic Parky, and more prehistoric subwoofery. And yes, unfortunately it had feathers. Just enough to ruin your childhood, but not enough to make it big and cuddly. In short, the T-Rex was the last thing you'd ever want to see at the end of your life. Which, unfortunately, for a lot of creatures in the Cretaceous, it was. Now, sleep well knowing that the only thing stopping the T-Rex from ruining your day is 66 million years of extinction. Or some scientific breakthroughs.